Speaker Mike Johnson is once again failing the American people, specifically Americans affected by Hurricane Helene, bearing in mind that right now, Hurricane Milton is bearing down on the region and might do even more damage. He's the leader of the House of Representatives, and if additional funding is going to go to the recovery, to FEMA, to individuals affected by it, the House needs to be a part of it. And so obviously the House, which has been out of session, needs to come back. It's a national tragedy. We need to come together and vote on something. Nah, he's not interested. He's not gonna do that. There's no rush. Why bother? We're weeks out from an election, and it seems like this is kind of hurting the Democrats. So I think we're not gonna do anything. Is not his literal quote on this, but it's effectively what's going on. He doesn't think we should rush. He says that they're not going to call Congress back into session early to fast track emergency funding, arguing that there is no rush since, quote, it takes a while to calculate the actual damage. And obviously, you can't do anything until you have the exact number. I mean, why send some money if it's not exactly the amount that in hindsight will have needed? You dumb person, why do you think people need help? No, what they need is statistical accuracy. He says, we'll be back in session immediately after the election. That's 30 days from now. The thing about these hurricanes and disasters of this magnitude is it takes a while to calculate the actual damages, and the states are gonna need some time to do that. Okay, so don't worry, we're gonna be back right after the election. That's only 30 days. So if you are floating down a makeshift creek on what used to be your roof, chill for 30 days, don't worry. At that point, the government can vote, and then maybe another couple weeks, another month, then maybe you'll get some help. The important thing is that we calculate accurately, Waz. What do you think?
Just best believe that if this were some sort of emergency for, say, I don't know, Wall Street, these fools would have ran back. I'm talking about ran back to Congress, ran back to DC to get everything that they could done. They wouldn't bother calculating. They wouldn't take a calculator out and be like, no, we got to carry the this and carry the that because Goldman next. Like, no, they would just go out and fund it. They'd probably send more money than was actually needed. Same goes for if Ukraine needed more weapons to go kill more people, or the Israelis needed more bombs to drop on villages and orphanages. Trust me, they would have ran back to go sign some checks to send to Raytheon and all these other people so that they could send weapons of war to, so more innocent people could die. Believe it, man. It's just these guys don't see themselves as working for the American people. Like they just don't. They see themselves as working for our corporate overlords, be they in the defense industry, be they on Wall Street, be they on any other powerful, financial interest that we have in our country. So nobody should be shocked by this, even though it is quite disgusting.
It is amazing how significant money and media is in freeing up people like Mike Johnson to not even have to pretend to care. That like you can simultaneously have a country that right now has millions of Republicans that have been convinced because they got the information from trusted sources like Matt Gaetz or whatever, that people affected by the hurricane are only gonna get $750. Why do they think that? Well, you immediately get $750 and then you get more. And the Republicans take that and say, well, what if we pretended that you just got the $750? Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that make you more mad? And so every one of their politicians says it and every one of their media figures says it. They know it's not true, but they say it and the voters hear it. They'll never listen to any other media that would ever fact check it. So I don't even know why I'm bothering to do this right now. And they're convinced for the rest of their life. Literally, they will get a check from the government for far more money. They will look at it. They will deposit it and then tweet about how they can only get $750. Meanwhile, Mike Johnson's like, what's the rush, man? Seriously, I've got like numbers to add up and everything, and I gotta like feed the paper through and then why rush? Why do anything? And right wingers, if they even see that at all, and they probably won't, because why would Fox cover that? They'll be fine with it. But again, they're never gonna see it. Fox is like, oh, if we were to report on that truthfully, that would make him look bad. So no, we're just gonna talk about like a trans gymnast or something for the next 24 hours. And Mike Johnson's fine. He doesn't have to do anything. He can stay off fundraising, campaigning, whatever. We have such a sick, broken system. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?